going on, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Expected Bets. On today's episode, we'll be breaking down the loaded slate for December 21st. It's almost the holiday season, so hopefully everyone's in a cheery mood after last night's whomping of the Buffalo Sabres. We won't bring that up at all today. We're not going to talk about that. We do have a special guest today who, unfortunately, like me, is a Sabres fan, tried and true. But before we introduce him, let's bring in the rest of the crew here. Betzky, how's it going?
Good. I was digging pipe today, so that was fun.
Yeah, that's something. It was 80 degrees at least.
Yeah, it's like 72. It rained this morning, and then the sun came out.
That's a nice day.
Yeah, it's just a nice 72 day.
Yeah. Franco, 72 in Philly today, I'm assuming as well.
No, it's been cold the last few days, so I'm sure not as much as you guys up in Buffalo, but
are you guys getting the superstorms soon?
Yeah, we're about half of 72 right now.
Yeah,
jeez.
Yeah, you could reverse that 27 pretty much. And last but certainly not least, we have our first guest of the season. We have Props Kitchen from Buffalo himself. Props Kitchen, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, boys. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited to hop on with you guys.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest day for it, like we had mentioned before, but happy you're here. Excited to talk some shop with you.
We're used to it in Buffalo, so it's just another day.
Yeah, that's very true. We're going to get into 7 games later, but before we do that, let's bring back the segments that we started last show, our 3 stars and penalty box. We'll start with the good news here. Franco, who is your star of the week here?
I'm going to go with your guy's boy, Darlene, with his shot prop. He has been awesome. Automatic. I think he had 0 shots last night in the first period. I actually had forgotten to bet him, and I was like, good thing I didn't bet him tonight. And then I saw this morning, I'm like, damn it, he got 3.
Yeah, so he scored with 30 seconds in.
Yeah, he scored 30 seconds in.
Oh, yeah, sorry. He had one early. He had one early. And then
none in the second.
He was blanked in the second. That's what it was. Okay, yeah, my mistake. But yeah, I don't know. He's just been automatic with that prop. It's been bettable almost every single night too, which is crazy. And I mean, he's been awesome. So gotta have him for the stars.
Yeah, Betzky, who is your star of the week here?
I'm just going to hand it over to both the Rangers power play and the Oilers power play because those props have been killer. I mean, Bouchard power play point, McDavid power play point, Fox power play point, Kreider power play point, Mika Zibanejad. Do you want me to keep on going, or is that good? All of them. You're getting plus money every night. Yeah. They're both hitting at like a 30. I think Edmonton was up to a 40% clip rate. It's insane. So, unfortunately you can't parlay it, and most books can't. But I mean, it's a nice way to just kind of have some insurance.
Yeah, we saw that Rangers power play kind of last year really thrive, and it seems like once they kind of get on a roll here, it's just like you're going to bet them every night.
Yep.
Props Kitchen, who is your star of the week?
I'm going Big Vale in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
He crushed it this week I think he's got 8 points in his last 5 games. He's hit his shot props in like 6 straight. He's got 5 goals in his last 5 games. So we talked about it a little bit last night. Betzky, McKinnon just seems off, and I don't know if it's the wrist injury. I don't know what it is, but he's definitely in that pass first mentality right now. And Vale is he's there to just dominate every time. Like the first period against the Sabres, when we played him, it was just, domination from start to finish. So he's one of the most underrated guys this year too. I know he's trying to earn himself back from what happened in the playoffs, but he's living up to the hype for sure.
Yeah. I don't know how you, obviously the Lightning haven't had the season they expected this year, but Stamkos has just been on an absolute roll as of late in his last 3 games, 8 points. And you can even talk about Kucherov too, who's been absurd in terms of his shot props, his point props this year too. Just 2 phenomenal players just trying to carry this team, 2 Willie veterans just carrying the Lightning here. So I'm going to go with those 2 as my stars of the week.
Nice.
Opposite of that, We're going to put some people in the penalty box this week. I'll start with you, Props Kitchen. I think we may have a similar mindset on this.
Yeah, so I got to go. I mean, if I could go the whole Sabres team, I would put up the whole Sabres team. Especially, I mean, their goaltending has just been abysmal. When Dev came in, I was so pumped. Like, we got the next Miller, got us all excited. But classic Buffalo fashion, hasn't lived up to the hype yet. Looked good coming back from Rochester, but just, I mean, last night was abysmal. I mean, so I would put their whole defensive core, other than Darlene and their goalies, in the box. Personal level, it wasn't totally his fault, but Jesper Bratt cost me a 2,500 lay due to a stat correction. So, I mean, personal level, put him, but it wasn't his fault. He had the 3, and then mysterious shot got taken away late. So, heartbreaker.
Yeah. That certainly is. Franco, who are you putting in the penalty box this week?
I'm going to go with the Oilers, but specifically Mr. Zach Hyman last night. Was on Sorokin saves, 3 minutes left, needed 2 more saves, and he takes an offensive zone penalty, just lazy play. Draisaitl's breaking down the wing late with like a minute left. Defenseman's covering his passing option, and he decides to do this like spinorama pass instead of just shooting the damn puck. Oh my God, it was so frustrating. You can't get 2 more shots with 3 minutes left. Come on, man. So that was brutal. That was just a brutal loss. I know the number was higher than we've seen for Sorokin last night, but that was such a smash spot for him, and it just didn't get there. So a little bit frustrating there.
Yeah. Betzky, how about you?
I'll do McKinnon because, man, I'm not even really betting on him outside of his points when he's playing at home, but it just sucks to not have him as like a shot on goal staple or like someone that you can ladder up if you want to get some really juicy odds on a play. Or again, like having that consistent guy at home, it's just been disappointing to not have some of your guys that you can turn to for ladder plays. And he was definitely a key piece for probably a lot of cappers last season. And I mean, it wasn't just the week now. It's been pretty much all season. He's just not reliable outside of his points and maybe even a goal, but it's kind of a shame.
Yeah, Taves made some interesting comments too last night. I'm not sure if you saw that as well, of basically saying some players think they're playing better than they are, which was a bold post-game interview that you traditionally don't see in hockey. I'd say it's pretty much everyone's kind of team first, but that was interesting. And it even started with I think, was it Nishushkin's dad who made some comments too about Rantanen or one or the other as well. But that Colorado locker room, that's an interesting one for sure.
I read that was a joke though. That was like a thing that was posted, but people
his dad can't really talk on much after what he pulled in the playoffs. So
yeah.
You're like, all right, sit that one out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this bet last week too, I think, at our show. But when we mentioned Arizona, San Jose, but Granlund too came into that, I think, on a 9-game point streak. He was great at home, great at Arizona, and it ended up just being a 1-0 game. And of course, he doesn't hit. Next game, he goes out and puts 2 points up. So I'm going to put him in the penalty box. It's like clockwork. It really is. It's just brutal betting on that. Any other notable mentions in terms of just bad play for the past week?
I guess it is good play on them, but yeah, the Sharks have kind of tightened things up or aren't scoring, or there's not much going on in those games anymore. And I definitely have lost coin because of, Morrissey not getting a point or assist, or some of these games you thought were going to be blowouts, not going that way. And then the next game it is a blowout. So they have been frustrating, but.
Yeah, they're 4-5-1 in their last 10 too. So it's not like the Sharks team that we saw for the first 10 plus games of the season either. I mean, they're finding ways to win.
Yeah, same with Ducks over their last 2 games too. Everybody thought Jersey was going to destroy them, and there's Henrik scoring a hattie against them, and follows it up by scoring against Red Wings too. And I mean, they're one of those teams that you kind of forget about. Like, we used to all beat up on them last year, and can't really do. Now it's the Islanders that you beat up on, and they were notorious for being the best defensive team out there. So definitely some flip-flopping going around this year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked about it too, but Seattle being a shots on goal target compared to last year too is kind of crazy when you think about it as well. But we're going to get into the game previews now for tomorrow. The first game up, we have Nashville taking on the Flyers here. The Flyers are the home favorites in this one, -125 on the money line, over under set at 5.5. Philly's coming off a nice win in overtime against the Devils in their last one. They are red hot, 7-1-2 in their last 10. Nashville, also another hot team here too, 7-3-0 in their last 10 coming off a loss to Vancouver in this one. Franco, Philly's your team. I mean, this has to be at least some exciting hockey that you're getting to watch this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I thought they would be better than a lot of people would expect this year, but they keep just defying the odds, so to speak. I don't even know what to say. I've seen some interviews, of guys saying, nobody wants us to win. Nobody thought we would be good, and we've taken that kind of to heart, and we're playing kind of with a chip on our shoulder. So I guess you can only lose so much, right? And be bad for so long before that you start to say, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm going to start taking it upon myself and playing better. And I've always thought Carter Hart was a good goalie. He's just been put in a bad situation throughout his whole career, pretty much in Philly. So nice to see him stepping up and everybody kind of in front of him stepping up as well. So as far as this game goes, though, I'm looking at Yossi, man. I think he's finally starting to get going a little bit here in Nashville. I feel like with the coaching change, he hasn't really been the same guy we've expected him to be over the last few years. His points have been way down compared to what he was. I mean, I think his point prop has been bettable almost every single game, like -125, -130, whereas he was notoriously -190, -200 type of guy. So, 4 points in his last 3 games, shooting a little bit more. He's not quite back to his 3.5 type of betting line, so I'm not going to go there. But if his point prop's bettable, I'll go there. Assist prop if I need to pivot off of that, for sure. He's always good for an assist, so I like that. Forsberg as well. Just Forsberg goal probably would be a look as well on the Nashville side. Just he's a pretty good history against Philly in general. I feel like he just always scores against the Flyers. So, and then I'm just going to keep running back Atkinson shots at home. It's cash for me almost every single time I bet it. I finally lost on it the most recent home game, but there's no reason not to come back to it. Decent history against them as well, averaging a little bit over 3 shots a game and 11 versus them in the last 3 years. So like that a lot. And Farabee point actually looks good as well. 8 points and 5 against them last 3 years, and 2 points in his last 3 games. Almost averaging 2.5 shots a game in the last 3 as well. So like that line in general to be productive tomorrow.
Yeah. Props Kitchen, any looks for you in this game tomorrow?
Yeah, I loved Cam as well. I mean, he's been dominant at home. I mean, the Flyers in general, they're one of those teams that I'll ride at home. They've just been dominant. I feel like they've kind of embraced Torts now of like for some reason Hayes just never meshed with them, but they're finally playing as a team. They're sticking up for one another. They definitely have that like gritty play at home versus on the road where they've been, a little bit struggling. Other than Cam, I would go Konechny, point or shot, whatever you want to do. He's got, I think over his last 8 home games, he's got 6 points. He's hit his shots. He'll probably open at 4, but he's hit that in 3 straight at home. And then, Nashville, they just played each other. What was it? Back in the 12th. So a little over a week ago. And Nashville beat them. It was a 3-2 tight game in Nashville. So it's, you got the Flyers going for revenge now back on home ice. So Preds, I'm not really looking too much at just because I like backing the Flyers more at home than if they're away. So I'm my point would be Konechny and then Cam assists or Cam shots, and then maybe even the money line or the puck line.
Yeah.
Could be one of those like 4-2 type empty netters at the end to seal it. So
yeah, I like Philly money line a lot here. Betzky, any looks for you in this one?
Yeah, you guys covered some good points there. One that I'll kind of lean on then, since you guys covered a lot of spots I really liked, was Saros saves if he is in net tomorrow. So Philly is surprisingly shooting a ton. So they're averaging about 34.6 shots per game over the last 10 games or so. Nashville's top 10, allowing the most shots against. So they're at 31.8. Add those up. Hopefully Saros doesn't let in too many leaky ones, but it seems like this may be a nice spot to do some goalie props. Even if you want to alt it and just get a little padding on a parlay and, take him for, let's say 28.5 or 29.5 is his line, dropping down a bit. So,
yeah, you mentioned Philly starting to shoot a ton, and one guy too. So Nashville gives up the 8th most shots on goal to left wingers here too. Owen Tippett has been great this year, especially at home in this look as well. So I'm going to definitely try to lean on him tomorrow. And again, just that connecting point as well. Props Kitchen, I had that circled as well. So that's going to be my 2 looks in this one. Any other plays?
Who would have thought you guys would all be saying you like Flyers money line coming this season? What the hell's going on here?
Yeah. At home, I'll back him I'll back him all the time at home. Road game, I'll target him.
It's just crazy, man. I never thought I'd hear the day.
I've always loved Torts too, though. I mean, he coached our home team AH. He coached the Amerks to the Calder Cup back when I was younger, and I mean, I've always loved his style. I mean, he's a coach that if you play your ass off for him, he's going to reward you. So, and if you're going to try to push it through, it's not going to fly.
It's always entertaining when he's coaching because either teams buy in and they become really gritty, and it's always kind of this like just all for one, and it's a big team effort to win and whatnot. And then when they don't buy in, you just get a ton of drama, and it's like a soap opera. So it's win-win situation.
Yeah. Next game up on the slate here, we have Carolina at Pittsburgh here. These teams did play pretty recently. November 18th, Carolina defeated the Penguins 4-2. Carolina's the road favorite in this one, -118 on the money line. Pittsburgh -102. Over under set at 6 here. Juiced heavily to that over at -130 here. Probably going to see it at 6.5 offered on some books as well. I'll start with you here, Betzky, in this one. Any looks in Carolina, Pittsburgh?
Oh man, I hate to say it, but I may have to turn to Aho here. I think he was in my penalty box last week because he really wrecked me in Props Kitchen on a parlay the other weekend. But he's firing right now, so I think he's hitting 4 or 5 straight. His attempts are way up.
5 points in his last 3.
5 points in his last 3. Yeah, they're finally getting kind of all their forward lines back to health. So Shevnikov made his debut again last night. Bunting's really stepping up lately, and it seems like Aho's always better when his line isn't the focal point of the offense. So when he gets that secondary scoring, it seems like that's when the coach can roll him out on mismatches. And, Pittsburgh obviously has 2 of the best centers in the world, so he's going to have to thrive with those. But Pittsburgh's allowing a lot of shots against, so this could be a really good angle for a lot of the Carolina guys. Aho kind of is leading the way right now, so that's kind of where I'll lean. Jacob Slavin's been great. I know he just missed the other night, but his one line is 1.5, so it's been kind of a consistent parlay piece here too. So I mean, those are probably my main 2. It's hard not to look at Crosby too and what he's been doing. I'm sure his line's going to be 3.5, and against the Carolina team that allows the least amount of shots against the league, it starts to get a little dicey. But I mean, I think he's like 92% or 88% at 2.5 all season. And then I know he's around 7 to 8 on the last 10 at his 3.5 line. So he's kind of become matchup proof here.
Yeah, I like that look as well. Props Kitchen, any plays for you in this one?
Yeah, for this one, it's one of those games that's going to be, I mean, it's got great targets on both sides because both teams love to shoot. Penguins love shooting at home, but the Canes are still tough to shoot on. I mean, Aho has been great. Svechnikov looked great coming back, but I think he's back to day now. So who knows if he's going to play. I mean, Gnetzel's been playing great, but I would probably pivot this game and just go more of the total. I was looking, it was like 20 over their last 20 matchups. It's only gone over 7, 3 or 4 of those times. So I would probably lean on this being more, you're going to see a lot of shots, but depending on who's in net, it's probably not going to be one of those 4-3, 5-4 barn burners. We're probably going to see another, 3-2, maybe a 4-1 type of game. So I would lean the under on this game.
Yep. I like that. Franco, any plays for you here?
I actually saw on DraftKings the over-under set at 6. It's minus 130 for the over. So,
yep.
But yeah, I still probably would lean towards the under here just because of the matchup. But you already touched on Aho. I like him for shots. I like him for a goal in this matchup here, so I'm not going to go too crazy about talking about him. Bunting again sticks out here. I didn't bet him the last game. He stuck out, and I'm probably not going to bet him again here. I don't know. He just doesn't excite me as a player. And like on this team, I thought he would be more productive, I guess, given his like playing style and stuff. But he doesn't really jump out to me when I'm watching these games. So another guy though is Jarvis. 3 points his last 3 games. Decent history against them as well. So I mean, Carolina is just so hard to find value on their point props for guys. Aho's always minus 190. Bunting's sometimes bettable, but I mean, even Jarvis is minus 140 or worse usually for a point. So if I can get him at a good number, I might sprinkle him. But on the Pittsburgh side, Crosby goal looks fantastic. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about him at this point. 3 goals his last 3. 8 games against them last 3 years, 7 goals against them, averaging almost 3 shots a game. So it might be a little bit hard to reach that 3.5 if you're betting that number. But I love his goal prop and Gensel assist prop. It's kind of goes hand in hand. They've both just been awesome this year. So I know we're not expecting a ton of goals, but that would be where I'm going to be looking.
Yeah, I like that Jarvis play a lot here. I mean, you mentioned the history too. 5 points in his last 5 games versus Pittsburgh here as well. 3 in his last 3. Even his shots too. So obviously he hasn't done well the last 3 games here. But if you kind of look at his record on the road, he's much better. And when they played Pittsburgh earlier this year, he also covered that number as well. And adding on top of that, Pittsburgh allows the, I think, 4th most shots on goal to right wingers here. So Jarvis might be of some value tomorrow, whether it's his point or his shots on goal prop. So that's probably where I'm going to lean in this one here. Any other players for Carolina, Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I'll point one out because I figured somebody would mention it. Erik Karlsson's shooting a lot again. And, top offensive defenseman we may have seen in the past 20 years or so. This guy's kind of matchup proof. So I don't really care about who he's going against. If he's going to be taking 8 to 9 to 10 attempts a game, you're just going to ride it. So kind of seeing what we're seeing from Dahlin on this big epic, 8 games in a row streak. I'm hoping Erik Karlsson's starting to get going too. So that may be a good one, and you'll probably get a good price on that. And again, if Shevnikov's in, his point prop is probably the most bettable on the Carolina side of things because of his injuries. It's been hovering around minus 130, minus 140 for a guy who's put up 80 points and more in a couple seasons ago. Last season, before the injury, he was a point per game player. You can't ask for better value than that. So,
any concern that Carolina allows the least shots on goal to defensemen?
Not really. Not if he's taking that many attempts.
Yeah.
That's just kind of the way I look at it. The other thing is too, you got to think of if this was a team that had several, I mean, I know they have Letang, but that's really all of the offensive defensemen they have. Yeah. So then it becomes less of a concern for me with the team makeup the way it is. But
I did see, I think they put up, I saw it in, I think it was Yardbarker yesterday. They're already talking about trying to flip Karlsson too. So
if
this is something that's true, I mean, he's going to want to try his best, but I mean, I would be shocked if they did. That might just be more rumor, or because it's Dubas. I mean, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So I'd be shocked if it happened, but if that is a true piece of it, he might be even more entitled to fire more than he has been.
Yep. Yeah, you're kind of seeing that uptick with all the Sharks players that are rumored to be tradable, and even Henrique right now. So they're all firing away and getting points. They're like, oh, wait, I can get out of this?
Yeah.
Look what Timo did last year.
Yeah, literally.
Timo made it out. So
Yep.
He gave him hope for everyone, which I don't know if it's good or bad that they can escape that franchise.
Except Hurdle, he does not seem to care. He's like, I'll just chill in North California for the rest of my life. That's fine.
No.
Not bad.
No. Next game up, we have the Vegas Golden Knights at the Tampa Bay Lightning. Here, the Lightning are home favorites, minus 118, over under set at 6.5 here. Slightly juiced the under at minus 115 here. Vegas has been great this whole season, 7-2-1 in their last 10. No Stanley Cup hangover at all for this team here. They pretty much return everyone and have kind of looked the part here. Tampa Bay's kind of been on an up and down roller coaster ride this season here. 5-5 in their last 10, and it's pretty much kind of the summary of their season here. They can't seem to string wins together, but they're not necessarily losing a ton of games either. So should be an interesting matchup here. I'll start with you here, Props Kitchen. Any plays in Vegas, Tampa Bay?
Of course, it pains me, but he's been too good this year. Of Eichel is just he's got the monkey off of his back now, and I mean you could see how he plays now. Of like he's finally at that caliber that a Sabres fan wanted all those years. But he's just dominating. He's got a point in 8 of his last 10 road games. He's over on his shots in 7 of those 10 games. I mean, doesn't matter what the team is, he's performing well against. I know they just got crushed by Carolina, but he scored the goal. He was over on his shots. But he's just hard to look away. I mean, him and then you can always go to Wild Bill for his shots have been consistent. His points haven't been, I mean, on the road, he is a little bit worse than at home from a point perspective. But for me, of like, you got Eichel going up against Stammer, you got him going up against Cooch, and then Point at home, he's going to come out firing, and he's going to try. I mean, I would run his points. He'd be a great point ladder too. A lot of those road games, he's hitting 2 or 3 points as well. So, I mean, if you want to use the 1 point for a parlay piece, then ride the 2 and 3 for some extra. I'm hate to say it, but I'm a huge Eichel fan now, even more so than I was when he was on the Sabres. So you win this one, Jack.
Betzky, any looks for you here in Vegas, Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I've got to go William Karlsson. The 1.5 line is a pure parlay piece. They may even have him at 2.5 tomorrow, and I don't know if I think I will take that too. Maybe that's more of a straight, but it only missed 1 game on the road. It's just been insane what he's been doing. The true road dog. As far as the Tampa side, we haven't touched too much on it. Vegas had that weird game against Carolina last night, and Tampa just dominated the Blues. So I don't know which way this is going to go. Are we going to see a big pushback on the Vegas end? Is Tampa turning that corner and Vassy is really turning around? It's hard to say. But, you know, that top line with Stammer, Cooch, and Point being all kind of loaded up there, yeah, it may be worthwhile to even dabble in like one of their 1.5 point props, because it seems like at least one, if not multiple of them, get it just about every home game. So those are going to be kind of my leans without really being able to dig too deep into this. The other one that really kind of intrigues me is Marcia Schultz's shots or Point. He was on the Panthers. You can see this with some other players that those old rivalries kind of stick with them, and they don't forget about it, even if they are on the other side of the country. And he's also getting a lot hotter as of late, and it's better on the road. So that's definitely going to be a little area that I may lean into and just see what type of value we can get once the lines are released, because Tampa's allowing a good amount of shots. If he's bumped to 3.5, that may be worthwhile again as a straight or for something a little bit juicy on a parlayed and puts a couple safer things. Or even like a same game with, him at 2.5 and Carlson at 1.5 would look pretty good.
Yeah.
Tampa power play has been great too.
Yeah, but then that Vegas penalty kill's scary. So
yeah. It is holiday road trip though.
Yes, it's very true. in Florida, mind
Vegas,
you.
So
yeah, but they may be the
end.
most disciplined out of the bunch at home,
Yeah.
With it just sitting there right there, they may need to get out of the house to really have a good time.
We'll see how Cooch is celebrating his holiday season.
Oh yeah,
white Christmas for him or not?
Yeah. Franco, you usually pull up a lot of stats historically, and there's a few guys in the Lightning here that have some pretty good records against this Vegas team. So who do you have in this matchup?
Yeah, so that's what kind of stuck out to me here. I mean, after looking at the numbers and historical numbers and stuff like that, I was kind of leaning Tampa, but now what Betzky said, I kind of want to edge off a little bit, because it seems like when a team gets blown out like that, they do come back and play tighter, and it's not going to be that same type of thing. So now I'm like really hesitant even on the Tampa props because of that. I could see a game where Vegas wins like 2-1 or something like that, and just clamps down and resets a little bit. So I'm kind of worried about that. But with that being said, I mean, Stamkos looks fantastic for a goal.
Yeah.
5 in his last 3, 2 and 4 against Vegas in general. So that looks really good. Point as well, 2 and 3 versus Vegas. I mean, that whole top line just looks fantastic. So I don't know. I'm kind of like waffling back and forth now. It's kind of tough because I went into this wanting to back Tampa, liking Hedman assists as well, and now I'm kind of hesitant and trying to decide because I don't know where's the value going to be too, because you're not even getting probably any good value on Stamkos' goal. It's probably going to be like a plus 140 or something like that. So
yeah, even Kucherov too.
Yeah. I mean, Kucherov was plus
Vegas
105 against them or something like that, plus 110 for a goal. You just don't get value on these guys. So it has to be a smash spot, and probably any other time, if they weren't coming off that shellacking, I would be probably inclined to do it. But it seems like a bad spot now with all that being said. But then you got the holiday, road trip factored in as well. And I mean, Tampa's so much better at home too. So that's kind of why I was leaning on the Tampa angle, but I don't know. I'm going to sleep on it, see how I feel tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I like all those players. I mean, even Stone, too, who we didn't mention, has been red hot as of late. 12 in his last 7 is another kind of solid angle if you're looking for that. Tampa Bay does give up a ton of shots on goal to left wingers, so maybe look at Barbashev tomorrow as well as kind of a guy you can find some value on. So that's all I have in this one. The next game up, unfortunately, we have Toronto traveling to Buffalo to take on the Sabres in this one here. Obviously, we talked about.
I'll sadly be at the game too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shocking, though. I mean, Toronto minus 162 on the money line. Buffalo plus 136. Over under set at 6.5 here. Juiced heavily to the over, and deservedly so, kind of given how Buffalo and Toronto played their last few games in this one. Buffalo did defeat Toronto earlier this year, back in November, 6-4. So again, looking at their avenge angles, a little bit scary. If you're a Sabres fan, I think everyone pretty much knows it's Dahlin shots on goal season. So I'm sure there's not much else to say there. But I'll start again with you here, Props Kitchen. Any looks in Toronto, Buffalo?
Yeah, so for me, I did see this morning Skinner is back in practice, which will be huge if he is able to play. So, I mean, I would look out for that. Tage looked awesome last game, even though they got crushed. He did exactly what we expected him to do, score a goal against Columbus and put up a ton of shots, and he did it effortlessly. I mean, for this game, I would definitely lean the over because, I mean, Toronto has been giving up a ton of goals too, but depending on who's in goal tomorrow for the Sabres, I mean, you're allowing 3 or 4, I mean, easily. So even if you want to go to Toronto's over, just target the Sabres, I don't think it's a bad look. I mean, Dahlin's the one guy that you can lean on. Willie Nylander coming off a terrible game. I mean, expect him to bounce back. Matthews seems to always be pissed off when he comes to play us. So, I mean, Tavares is always crushing us too. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys to target. It's just a matter of what side's going to show up. Is the Sabres going to want to give Buffalo that last holiday win to get everybody jacked up for the Bills on Saturday, or are they going to lose 3 in a row going into the holiday break? So it's going to be tough. I mean, if Skinner's in, I'm going to be on his shots. But for right now, since there's so many pieces, I would probably just ride Toronto team total.
Yeah. Franco, we've talked about this guy in the past too, but JJ Peterka has been pretty solid with his shots on goal as of late, and Toronto does give up the most shots on goal to left wingers here. So is that an angle you're going to be targeting tomorrow, or do you kind of have others?
Probably. I think he'll be back to a bettable number. I think against Columbus, he was like minus 140 or something like that. So I pivoted off of him. But I would assume he's going to be closer to even money given the matchup. Market expects Tampa or Toronto to be a good defensive team, and Columbus not to be. So we'll see what number we get for him and Dahlin for that matter. I think both will be bettable tomorrow, which will be nice. I'm kind of surprised by the number though on the money line, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, why the hell are the Sabres only plus 136 and minus 162 for Toronto? Makes me feel like this is a get right spot for your boys. I mean, what the hell's going on here?
Did you say this is the last game before the winter break? So they have like 5 days off
last home game.
Last home game. Okay, gotcha.
But I mean, doesn't it just feel like a game that Buffalo's going to win for no reason
look
at
at
all?
Like
seriously. Well, I mean, the fact that Vegas, they got spanked by Columbus.
Yeah,
they've been playing great.
They play up to their competition. Yeah.
They've been playing up. I think over their last 7 head-to-head matchups, Sabres are 5-2. So I mean,
interesting.
They have
and Toronto always plays down.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of want to back the Sabres. I know you guys are probably.
I'm liking it.
No,
but
these are those matchups that are tough because you can't really ride the home and away splits because Toronto takes over Buffalo every time.
That's what I was going to say.
It'll be. I mean, it's just as loud for Toronto there that it is for the Sabres. So it's. I mean, for me, I throw those splits out the window when they come to town. But hopefully it's a barn burner. Hopefully we see a 4-3, 5-4 type of game.
How about 9-4 Buffalo winning?
Yeah, I mean, I can see a lot of goals here.
Cincinnati.
I mean, seriously, like
if
you look
at all the
historic numbers,
I think you're right
everything
on this
was
angle.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a ton of sense. But yeah, I mean, at Props Kitchen, it is crazy how many Toronto fans show up just given the prices in Toronto, the short bus ride over the border. It's at least going to be 50-50 tomorrow, if not 60-40, leading to Toronto's advantage in the stadium. Betzky, any looks for you in this one?
I'm going to go to power play points here. So Toronto's got top 5 power play. Buffalo has the 7th worst. I can only imagine that Marner or Matthews or Tavares or Nylander, pick your poison, can probably get at least one. So that's going to probably be a decent angle. Another one, and this has hurt a little bit more since Marner and Matthews aren't playing together, but getting those guys on their 1.5 point props in good matches and games that you project that are going to be high scoring and doing a half unit on each. I had a lot of success with over the past several seasons now because there's a lot of times one will hit and it'll cover both your bets. And then there's a lot of times that both hit and it feels great. So Tavares has been a wagon too at the shots. So I think he's 4 or 5 in a row now. His attempts are sky high. He had that great game without Matthews where he had just 9 shots. Me and Props were kicking ourselves for not hearing about Matthews having,
it was 5 minutes before puck drop. So
yeah, the butt
and then
flu.
we lock in, and we lock in.
That was NBA style right there.
Yeah. But I don't think it's just relying on Matthews being out right now. We've seen Tavares do this before where he just goes on these huge hot streaks, and I think we're in the middle of one. He probably got the break circled. Maybe he's getting some new Toronto PJs for Christmas, and he just can't wait to break them out, and he's going to be a good boy until then. So.
Yeah, no, I like that, especially, Matthews too. You talked about the hot hand. Started off the season great, kind of had a little bit of downswing after that, but he's been great as of late. 12 points in his last 5, and you figured how many goals the Sabres give up. It seems like a great angle to target his 1.5 line in this one as well. Next game up, we have Edmonton at New Jersey. Edmonton minus 102 on the money line. New Jersey minus 118. Over under set at 7 here. These teams did play earlier this month where Edmonton defeated the Devils 4-1 in this one. Shockingly enough, Edmonton's obviously been better at home this year. They're 4-9-0 on the road. New Jersey's struggled at home this year. They've been better away. They're 6-7-2 at home. But both these teams have been pretty good as of late with winning records in their last 10 here. However, they both come in on a skid here. Edmonton's lost three straight, and New Jersey's lost 2 straight here. So I'll throw it to you here, Betzky, in this one. Any looks in Edmonton, New Jersey?
Yuck. Can't believe that this is a game that I'm a little worried about. This should have been one that was a layup,
Yeah.
But, if I'm going to go down that rabbit hole, I'm going to want that game script to be a high-scoring game like we would probably expect. It seems like both of these teams are a little up and down. Edmonton props on the road are way more inconsistent. So whether it's somebody's shots, like Hyman is just a hometown guy, McDavid's points are way better at home. It all starts to get a little bit weirder on the road. But the way NJ is allowing goals, this is probably a decent spot to maybe go back to the norm. So I'll see what McDavid's 1.5 points are. He just came off kind of a dud game. You don't see that happen much. So this would be a big bounce back. I kind of would like to look at Jack Hughes's history versus Edmonton. It seems like other top centers, when they play, the best or other top centers in the league, they always step it up a little bit. And Hughes has been great at home. It's just always one of those dice rolls. You're either going to get his shots in the first or feel really good about it, or geez, he'll wait till overtime to almost hit his line, or he'll just be kind of skating around. The other thing is Toffoli just has not been the same. Timo's been hard to trust. We don't have Hamilton in the lineup. So there's a team that seems so like a treasure chest full of props at the start of the year has really kind of dwindled down. And then again, Edmonton on the road is just not my favorite. But yeah, I'll be looking at Edmonton or Mr. Edmonton, Connor McDavid for 2 points, depending on what the value is there. Maybe Eichel or Jack Hughes on the same kind of prop or his shots, and just kind of take a dig into the history and make sure I'm not missing anything else here. But maybe you guys got something better that you're more confident in.
Yeah, so I just looked up Hughes' last 5 games against Edmonton. So he has 5 points in his last 5, but 3 of those games he did not record a point. So It's kind of a hit or miss with him. Yeah, so that's the look there. Props Kitchen, any plays for you in this one?
Yeah, so I'm riding, it's chalky, but I'm riding McDavid assists. So this is another one that I would ride a ladder on it. Yesterday was the first game in 12 games that he was held off the score sheet. So didn't record a point, didn't record an assist. The other part is over, I just had it here. Second, he crushes the Devils when it comes to assists, and we're probably going to get the better value there. He's got 19 assists in 14 career games against the Devils, and of those 14 games, he's only gone 1 game without an assist, and that was New Year's Eve of 2021. So I mean, just a weird game. Devils are allowing 3.5 goals a game at home as well. So depending on who's going to be in net, I mean, I'm riding him to bounce back. A little personal again. He, I mean, was the one leg to miss last night on an assist parlay that I had, which should have been a done deal.
Yeah.
But I love to target. I mean, his one assist will probably be around that like 130, 140, and then kind of use that as your parlay piece, run him for 2 and 3 as well, and run for it. He's going to bounce back. He's the best player in the league.
Yeah.
Like Betzky said too, when you go up against another top forward like a Jack Hughes, I mean, gives him a little bit of extra grit to get it done. So I think it's going to be a big bounce back game after getting crushed by an Islanders team that they should have dominated. So
yeah.
No, and Dreisaitl's a little bit better on the road too, which always kind of leans into McDavid being more of the playmaker. He's been real weird this season, but he was the only guy who scored yesterday, right?
Yeah. And that was the one time that Draisaitl scored without McDavid being a part of it. Just an oddity in itself, but
yep. I'm gonna pull up the jersey PK. I can only imagine it's bad, but let me just triple check, because again, this is one of those teams to target for power play points. Hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder right here, Franco, but they are the 12th worst over the past 10 days. So.
Okay. Not too bad.
Bobby
Franco.
Bouchard.
Yeah. Franco, any looks for you in this one?
I love McDavid 2 points. So, I mean, I'm going to ride that. I mean, I think you guys have kind of beaten it in enough. So for sure that. The one player that's weird in this matchup is, or in recent form at least, I guess too, is Nuge has been averaging some shots recently. And he was a guy kind of at some point last year, I feel like was pretty good for shots. He had a nice little run for a while, and I know he's been kind of all over the lineup with them. And I think I was talking to Goody on Twitter earlier this week about why they move him off of McDavid's line. Like, this team's not deep enough to try to like juggle these lines and make, Connor Brown work on the top line and all that stuff. We've already seen it with Yamamoto and Puljujärvi, right? Like, stack the top 2 lines and just run out the rest, and you're going to make the playoffs and you're going to be pretty productive. So I don't get why they keep moving guys all over the place and can't seem to kind of find the right mixture, I guess. But I mean, Nuge was dominant last year on that top line with McDavid. So we'll see if they kind of get that right eventually. But yeah, I mean, he's been productive the last couple of games, 4 points, averaging over 3.5 shots per game. So depending on the value there, I might look at that. As far as the jersey angle, Jesper Bratt has 4 straight games with a goal against Edmonton. And I mean, that's pretty impressive for him, right? Like, he's the assist guy. He's the playmaker. He's not the goal scorer. So for him to have that kind of history, he does have a goal, 1 goal in his last 3 games. So probably decent value on him. And I'll probably look at that as far as an angle on the jersey
He's
side.
been firing too.
Yeah. He's got 12 in his last 9.
And like you guys said, like, Timo, where's he been? Toffoli, where's he been?
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are goal scorers. They're not like just decent guys that are, kind of playing shelter minutes on this team or not showing up on this team. I mean, these guys are shooters and goal scorers, and we're not really seeing it right now from them. And I don't know if it's injuries or what, but I'm kind of disappointed by both of them, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah. I think Timo's same with Mac of that injury that he had. I think it's knocked him down worse than anything, and he hasn't been able to get back to himself.
Yeah,
I mean, it sucks because these guys should be this team, like you guys said, should be a well of props, and they're just not right now. It's wild. Yeah.
Next game up on the slate here, we have Vancouver traveling to Dallas. Dallas, the home favorite in this one, -142, over under set at 6.5 here, slightly juiced to the under at -115. these teams did play earlier this season, where Vancouver defeated the Stars 2-0. Vancouver's been pretty good in their last 10, 7-2-1. Dallas kind of mediocre, 5-3-2 in their last 10. And this one looks like a revenge spot for Dallas here, kind of a get right, despite Vancouver's kind of prowess as of late. I don't hate the Stars in this one, maybe even take them in regulation. So that's kind of where I'm going. And Betzky's favorite target, of course, Matt Duchene. He's been pretty good as of late.
God.
7 points in his last 4. Kind of woke up there. But I'll start with you here, Franco. Any looks in Vancouver, Dallas?
So I came into this one in back Dallas, but kind of similar to what I saw in that Vegas game, where like I'm kind of leaning more on the Vancouver side as far as what players look good in the matchups previously. Patterson averaging almost 2 points per game against them, so I don't hate that as a 2-point prop for him. Besser looks fantastic as well, so does Quinn Hughes. You have to go like assist or goal prop for either one of those, I would say. The other one that's weird, and I know this line's been productive for them surprisingly, has been that Bluger, Garland, Dakota Joshua line. So Garland point prop is usually bettable. 2 points in his last 3 and 6 and 7 against them historically. So that might be your solo point prop play, because I know Hughes is probably not going to be bettable. Like I said, Patterson, you're going to have to go up to 2 if you can get him at 2 points, and Besser's not going to be bettable for a point either. So that might be your pivot angle there. And then the other one that's weird is it's one of those weird matchup things, I guess, overall, is Sagan shots against this team, averaging over 3 shots a game against them. I know he hasn't been that guy this year, but that might be, you might be able to get some value there if he's if that history is to be believed, at least. I know there's certain teams that he pops against as far as shots, and again, he was another guy that was a guy that you could trust for a nice stretch last year, and hasn't really been that guy this year. So might be a good time to hop on him.
Yeah. Props, any plays for you in this one?
Yeah, so Dallas at home, I've been loving riding Joe Pavelski. He's been kind of rekindled his career there. At home this year in 15 games, he's averaging a point per game. He's got 8 goals, 8 assists, averaging 3 shots. And if he's at 1.5 like he has been, he's only missed that once in those 15 games at home. The Canucks have been, they can be stingy at times, but again, being the holiday break, traveling, it is a stretch. So if we're looking at it as that revenge narrative, backing Dallas at home, I got to go Pavelski. You can, whatever you want to run for him, whether you want his goal, his assist, his point, his shots, I'd be more than okay running all of those for him tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great angle. Betzky, any looks for you in Vancouver, Dallas?
You guys forgot about Jamie Benn, the old Vancouver boy. He's from Victoria, I believe. He has 16 goals, 18 assists, and 39 games against the Canucks. It's a big history, and it's been going back pretty much his entire career. So I pretty much ride it every single time these two teams play against each other. They only play against each other 2 to 3 times a year. I feel like you're almost always going to be coming out with 2 out of those 3 games with a hit. And guess who, when he missed last time they played? So I feel like he's due. So
yeah,
that's going to be the angle. Outside of what you guys said, that's going to be the angle I'm taking. I kind of like that. Elias Pettersson, 2 points too. Garland sounds like he's getting a little feisty again. But yeah,
that's some history that's hard to ignore for sure.
Yep.
In that one.
I may actually pivot off of Duchene this game before that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Believe it when I see it.
We've done that once before.
Yeah.
That's true. It's true.
Just let us know if you're on him or not, and that'll
Okay.
decide.
I already had the write-up ready and everything. Come on.
Yeah.
Copy and paste.
Yeah. All right. Last game up that we're going to talk about, and the last game on the slate, Arizona at San Jose. We talked about this game a week ago. It ended up being a 1-0 win for Arizona. And this one, we thought it was going to go over. We talked about probably 20 different players that we liked in that one in terms of points, props, just you name it. We are all over them. And, of course, kind of just that dud of a game here. I'll start with you, Betzky. Probably going to, we saw the over now shift from 6.5 to 6 here, and now the over is kind of there, more enticing. So maybe this is going to be the game we kind of first expected.
Yeah, I like kind of going the opposite if there's extremes. So a 1-0 game just makes sense that we're at least going to get like a 3-2 game, if not higher. So I'd probably kind of lean into the over. I know we just got shifted because I think we lost Franco. There we go. One guy, I'm not going to steal your thunder on Granlund. I'll let you talk about it or somebody talk about it because that may be one to hop back on. But McBain is back for the Coyotes. They just came back from being down 3-0 to beat the Sens after they got a coaching change last night, which I was cooking and kind of turned it off after the first period and came back and looked at the score and couldn't believe it. So kind of pissed I missed that, but we've been struggling without center depth with Hayton and McBain out. Him coming back in really just kind of solidifies the top 9 again. So if I'm looking for value on the point side of things, I may check out to see if there's a McBain point prop or who else is playing on his line. Or which power play he is going to be on, because that may be a play to kind of work around. If he's playing with Michelli on the power play, I'll probably lean maybe more into Michelli. I know he was with Carcone yesterday, and I think even maybe Cooley. So both of them may be kind of good to look at, but you can't go wrong with a McBain goal right now. He was streaky to end the season last year. He kind of started off really hot this season. This is a weak San Jose team, and if you don't think it's going to be another 1-0 game, I may go with McBain goal and just kind of go with the hot hand because he is a big boy, and I don't know who San Jose really has that are going to be able to really kind of push him off than that. Maybe Mike Ferraro, but geez.
Yeah. You look at the shots, angles in this one, and it's kind of pick your poison at this one. San Jose ranks in the top 10 for allowing the most shots on goal for centers, left wings, right wings, D, you name it. And then even Arizona is kind of a great target spot for D and right wingers in this one here. Props Kitchen, any plays or kind of angles that you're looking to target in Arizona, San Jose?
Yeah, for me, I've been loving Michelli he's been crushing his shots. He's always set at the nice 1.5, so you got your parlay piece, and he's been hitting 3 and 4 consistently. He's got a point in, I think he's got a point in 7 of his last 9. So, he's been producing point-wise. He's been shooting the puck. Again, San Jose has been a good one to target, but over their last few games, they have showed some different, some grit to them. So Hurdle's been on fire. Declare's been shooting the puck well. I would kind of look at who's going to be in net for San Jose. If it's Blackwood, I don't mind touching his saves, seeing if the Yotes are going to come out and say, all right, we underperformed the last time when we should have put up 7 goals on you. So they might come out firing, but I definitely like the total too. So, but my number one play for that to target is Michelli for, again, points and shots for sure.
Yeah, no, I like that look a lot here. Franco, last game up here, Arizona, San Jose. Any looks for you in this one?
Yeah, I'm coming back to the over. I think you guys kind of already were hitting on it a little bit when I got chopped out of here. But
we were only talking about the under. We're all on the
under. I have to, right? Like, why the hell not? Would I not come back to it? Both teams can score. I know they can. Both teams' defense are lacking. I got to do it. I'm probably going to lean on Barabanov point again, and maybe even look at your boy Granlund point. I don't know if you touched on him already, Gator, but I feel like you got to come back to these guys, and just hope that this game's not going to be the same stupid 1-0 game. I know there were some disallows in that game too, so that kind of played into it.
Yeah, Granlund's, I think he's hitting only one of his last 3, but he's been pretty good this year at bounce backs in terms of not really going without a point for multiple games. So I do like that look in this one as well. Going to be interested to see his price on that because he was minus 130 last time they played, but I don't know if they're going to adjust that too much. I don't think they will. So again, that could be kind of one of my favorite plays in this one. Any other closing thoughts?
I will look at Hurdle again too. It just dawned on me. He's got a great history against the Coyotes, both shots and points. I think he did get his shots last game, even though he hasn't been shooting much. So old habits die hard.
Yep.
Yeah, Hurdle goal looks good, honestly, because point prop you're going to have to parlay most likely. So
yeah,
I don't mind pivoting to that as well.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's the end of the episode. You guys want to shout out your socials one last time here?
Sure. I'm Gretzky Betzky on Twitter, or I guess Gretzky Betzky's, and part of the Parlay Science Discord.
Yep, I'm Props Kitchen on Twitter, and also Gretzky's right-hand man in Parlay Science.
Yep, so we cook up slips all the time. We get to just kind of have fun and talk hockey over there.
We're kind of best friends. Not
yeah.
And I'm Franco the Banker at Franco the Banker on Twitter as well.
Awesome. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Gator Betting and our podcast at Expected Bets for Props Kitchen. Just want to thank you one last time for joining us. This has been fun.
Thanks for coming on.
We'll have to have you back on sometime once the Sabres make the playoffs. We'll have a celebratory episode.
My son might graduate high school by then, so we'll see how that goes. But no, thanks boys for having me on. I know we've been trying to get on, so it was a pleasure to be on, and let's win some money tonight and head into the holidays a little bit richer.
Of course, yeah. We'll put out our best bets tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, along with expected bets for parlay. We've been close as of late. We hit the first one. I think we've gone 2-1 in our last 2, so we just can't find that missing piece. Hopefully Props Kitchen can come through tomorrow for us. But again, we appreciate everyone for listening, and this has been another episode of Expected Bets 4.